Hi everybody, thanks very much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. So I have a project on the go. It's a trailer I want to take in the backcountry. That means I want to take it completely off-grid. And an off-grid system should include a solar system. Solar systems start with your solar panels as well as batteries to store all that power. But it all starts with a good quality solar panel. And when I was thinking about what solar panel to get, I knew it had to be lightweight, durable, efficient even when shaded, and I wanted a no holes drilled application. I didn't want to drill any holes in the roof of my trailer. So obviously there are many options for me. I could have went with a solid glass panel, I could have went with a portable suitcase style, I could have went with semi-flexible, flexible. I had many options and they all work, but the thing is they didn't tick off all the boxes that I required. So that's where this solar panel comes in. It's from Bougerv. It's the Yuma 200 watt CIGS technology solar panel. Have you ever seen a solar panel shipped in a box like this? It's flexible. I mean, it's so flexible you can roll it up in a tube. That's how flexible and durable it is. Let's check it out. That is pretty incredible. Let's unwrap it. Isn't that something? So the Bougerv Yuma solar panels come in two sizes, two different applications. This is the 200 watt version. There is also a 100 watt version. This one is adhesive backed. There is a version that is punched all the way around, so you can screw it down just like a conventional solar panel. Now this one weighs 8.44 pounds. It's approximately 82 by 26. Now look how thin this is. It's amazingly thin. It's only 1.5 millimeters thick. That looks to me like thinner than a dime. That means when you apply this, it will not catch the wind. It'll be very secure. You can install this thing anywhere. So check out how I have this solar panel twisted up like a pretzel. I mean, I'm not going to damage the solar panel by doing this. There are a lot of solar panels out there that are technically flexible, but if I did this to it, they would definitely break. Now this application would be perfect on any irregular shaped roof, like a truck cap, let's say, or if you have a teardrop camper, they're very popular these days. This is the panel to get. So far you have to admit that's a pretty impressive solar panel, and I want to thank Bougerv for sending this out to me for review and testing. I really do appreciate you helping to sponsor the build. But perhaps the most impressive thing about this solar panel is the way that it can take some damage and still perform. I've seen different videos where people have run these over with their car, they've stepped on them on gravel driveways, they've shot them with a pistol, yes, put bullet holes in them, drilled holes through them, submerged them in water, all these things, and the panel still works. Not only does it works almost as if nothing had happened to it. That's really impressive. These are waterproof, IP68. You can submerge these for up to 30 minutes, so you know these are going to stand the test of weather. Now, they are extremely shade resistant as well, and the way that they still produce power while they're shaded and the way they still produce power even with bullet holes in them is part of this technology here. So let's take a closer look. So this CIGS technology is really not new, but it's becoming more affordable, so it's trickling down to the consumer market. And that CIGS stands for copper, indium, gallium selenide. That's all I can really tell you about that. I'm not a scientist, but I can tell you that in each of these cells, there are 48 of these diodes, which are called bypass diodes. And if part of this solar panel gets damaged here, these diodes will bypass the energy that's coming from the sun, bring it to another part of the panel. That way it's affected little by the damage. In the same way, if part of the panel gets shaded, it can bypass to a different part of the solar panel and it's affected little. Now, of course, it is affected by damage. Of course, it is affected by shade, but not as much as some of the more conventional technologies out there. So behind me, as you can see, I have two solar panels, both 200 watt solar panels. On this side, the Yuma. On this side, a Bluetti 200 watt portable solar panel. I love that Bluetti panel. It served me well. It's not going anywhere. I plan on incorporating that into my off-grid build as well. But it's going to be interesting to see how these two panels react under the same conditions. I'm going to check them out with no shade, and I'm going to create some shade using this cardboard. So let's check it out. I'm interested. I haven't tested these yet, so I'm learning along with you. Okay, let's get some numbers from these two solar panels. I have two connectors, one for the Yuma, one for the Bluetti. We have a good sunny day. Let's check out what the Yuma solar panel is producing. Pretty nice sunny day. It's creeping up now. Over 100. I'm using my Bluetti AC50B to gauge the watts going in. 143, 144. Let's call that 140. Now let's call it 143. Now that's pretty good numbers for a 200 watt solar panel. Let's check the Bluetti. We're getting scattered clouds here and there. I would expect the Bluetti to produce about the same, close to 140. There we go. We're up over 100 now. Yeah, pretty good numbers too. 124, 125. Okay, so the Yuma produced about 20 more watts than the Bluetti, but that's pretty close. So let's throw a little bit of shade into the mix. I'm just going to randomly throw some cardboard on the panels. That's going to represent a damaged panel or maybe some shade. Let's see how it affects the numbers. Okay, so I have the Yuma plugged in with no shading. So right now we're pulling in 134, 135. Let's add some shading. Went from 135 to 114. That's roughly 20 watts. I'll add another bit of shading now. Down to 92. More shading. There's 3 shades there now. Still producing 87. It's dropping less. Let me add 4 panels now. Didn't change at all. Still producing 85. 5 panels, 80 watts. Still producing 80 watts. Now let's put number 6, the final one. Basically unchanged. So with 6 panels, we're still producing 79 watts, and that's some pretty significant shading. Now, let's check out the Bluetti, see how it fares shading with those little cardboard panels. Okay, so the Bluetti is reading at, let's say 115. 115, I'm going to add 1 panel of shading. 1 panel of shading, drop down to 85, let's say. That's 30 watts drop. I added another panel, drop down to 52. Panel number 3, still at 52, 51, that's good to see. Let's add panel number 4. So I've added panel number 4, it's down to 27 watts. Pretty close to producing nothing. Panel number 5, 0. So I put 5 of those small cardboard panels on the Bluetti and it stopped producing. Basically dead. Compared to what the Yuma was producing, that's quite a dramatic difference. Okay, so we saw how many watts the Yuma was still producing with 6 of those small cardboard panels on it. we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to use these big panels now. We're going to keep placing these out here until the panel becomes dead. And I'll use some of these small ones as well. Let's see how far we can go and still produce power using the Yuma 200 watt solar panel. Let's try the Bougerv. Now we're maxing out at about, let's say 109 at the moment. We're going to try the one big obstruction. Drop down to 50, 51, so more than half the capacity. I'm going to throw a second large obstruction on there. Drop down to 21, so again it dropped about 50%. We'll do a third now. So the third large obstruction basically killed the panel. So you know, the Bougerv panel, no slouch. It actually performed very well. I mean, it did great until I added this third obstruction. You wouldn't really expect a solar panel to produce wattage after you obstruct it that much. So we have the Yuma plugged in right now, and looks like we're going to be getting about 122. Let's call it 122, and I'm going to put a large obstruction on there now. Dropped it down about half, up to 67. Let's throw another one on. Down to 11. A third obstruction, we're still producing 11. 4 obstructions, we're still producing a little bit of power, 4 watts. That's pretty cool. I would say that, you know, 80% of that panel is obstructed, not just shaded, I mean completely obstructed from the sun, still producing 4 watts. I'm going to add now some small panels and see how many small obstructions I can add before I totally kill the Yuma. There's one, still producing 4. Another small panel, still producing 4. Still producing 4. Still producing 4 panels. Let's see if I can squeeze another one on. Four. So I have 4 large obstructions and 6 smaller ones. Basically there's just a sliver of solar panels still showing, still producing 3 watts, 2 watts. That's great. So in my opinion, there are lots of reasons to consider one of these Yuma solar panels from Bougerv. Number 1, it's a 10-year warranty. I mean, that's unheard of. Kudos to Bougerv for a 10-year warranty. They're easy to install. You can stick them straight to your substrate. They don't require an air gap to perform at 100% efficiency, so that's great. They are durable, practically bomb-proof. I mean, if you can shoot a bullet through these and they still perform, that is a good thing. They are shade resistant. That's another good thing. Flexible. They basically will install anywhere. And you could basically cover your entire roof of your RV with these panels and still have access to the entire roof, because remember, you can walk on these. You can walk on these and get to your roof and inspect every inch of it, unlike glass panels where If you install them, basically you lose access to that part of the roof because you can't walk on them. Lots of reasons to consider a panel like this. I'm glad I have one for this project. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos in the future where I'll be building this little trailer out to be completely off-grid using this CIGS technology 200-watt solar panel from Bougerv. That's going to be interesting and exciting. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that bell icon. That way you'll be notified of any future videos. Now, I will leave links to Bougerv down below. You can check them out. If there are any product codes for discounts, I will put them down below as well. If you're planning a solar build, you should check them out. Thanks again for watching. I do appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.